Hi all, I am Samira Hanif. Today we can have a discussion on the textbook Spectrum, Literature and Contemporary Issues. This is a prescribed textbook for the 4th semester UG students under the University of Calicut. So, let us check the contents of the particular textbook Spectrum, Literature and Contemporary Issues. The text has got totally 4 modules. Module 1, Literature and Media. Module 2, Globalization and IPR. Module 3, Nation and its Boundaries, and Module 4, The Marginalized and Their Rights. So let us check each module in detail. Module 1 is Literature and Media, and the first lesson in the Module 1 is Divided Times, How Literature Teaches Us to Understand the Other. Divided Times, How Literature Teaches Us to Understand the Other. And it is written by Amanda Mihalopoulou, and she is from Athens, Greece. And in this particular lesson, Divided Times, How Literature Teaches Us to Understand the Other, she interrogates the vital role of literature plays in dramatizing difference and encouraging empathy towards refugees, migrants, and other oppressed through a rereading of the classical texts in European literature. So, in this particular chapter, she is trying to reread the classical texts in European literature, and her intention is to make us empathize with refugees, migrants, and other oppressed people. And the second lesson in this particular module is Komala, written by Santosh Echikkanam. Santosh Echikkanam is a very familiar figure because he is from Kerala, and we all might have at least heard about his most famous work, Biryani. And Komala is one of other famous work by Santosh Echikkanam, and it is one of the masterpieces in Malayalam literature, we have to say. And in this particular chapter, he criticizes the inhuman commodification of the suffering of poor people by the media, how media is commodifying the sufferings of poor people to have rating for their programs. So that's all about Module 1, and let us go to Module 2. Module 2 is Globalization and IPR. IPR is intellectual property right. Okay, globalization and IPR, intellectual property right. And the first lesson in Module 2 is The Big Fish by N.P. Hafiz Muhammad. The Big Fish by N.P. Hafiz Muhammad. The Big Fish is actually an allegory, and it depicts the fate of the downtrodden or underprivileged people in a globalized era, and how they are exploited or how they are monitored by the corporates. So, how the underprivileged people are monitored and exploited by the big corporates in a globalized era. And that is the content of The Big Fish by N.P. Hafiz Muhammad. And next lesson is Turmeric by K. Sachidanandan. Turmeric by K. Sachidanandan. And in that particular lesson entitled as Turmeric, Sachidanandan tries to portray how the neocolonial global agenda works very often covertly in converting certain traditionally rooted value-based important products into market-oriented cosmopolitan cosmetics or such attractive products. How our value-based products like turmeric are commodified became some cosmetic products in a cosmopolitan culture. And that's about the Turmeric by Sachidanandan. And the next lesson in this module is What is Work? A poem by the American poet Philip Levin. What is work? In that particular poem, What is Work? He is celebrating the spirit of the solidarity. He is celebrating the spirit of solidarity among the working class, and he celebrates the feeling of the working class people. And that's all about Module 2. And let us go to Module 3. And Module 3 is entitled as Nation and its Boundaries. Nation and its Boundaries. And the first one is a poem, Home by Warsan Shire. Home by Warsan Shire. And Warsan Shire is from Kenya, East Africa. And in this particular poem, Warsan Shire, she states that no one will leave home unless they really have to, and is filled with the images, and the poem is filled with the images of thousands of people who lost their lives in their attempt to cross sea. how one is compelled to move to other place, leaving his own home. And the second chapter in module 3 is Love Across the Salt Desert, a very touching love story by K.G. N. Daruwala. It's a love story by K.G. N. Daruwala, and in that particular story, K.G. N. Daruwala portrays how people are doing unimaginable things when they are in love. And the next one is a poem, No Men Are Foreign by James Calicut. No Men Are Foreign by the British writer James Calicut. And this is an anti-war poem, and this anti-war poem is very much important in this warmongering century. And the next poem in that module is Death Fuge by Paul Celan. And this is a powerful anti-genocide. You know what genocide is, killing masses of people, and anti-genocide poem. And this is also important in this particular social situation. And the last lesson in this module is A.L. Hendricks' Jamaican Fragment. Jamaican Fragment by A.L. Hendricks, and he is from Jamaica, and in that particular lesson he gives us different perspectives of racism, and how prejudiced we are, how we are judging people in our first glance, how we are judging people, what prejudice we have got in our mind. This is all the theme of A.L. Hendricks' Jamaican Fragment. That's all about the third module, and let us move to the fourth module. The fourth module is entitled as The Marginalized and Their Rights. And the first one is the speech by Malala Yousafzai. You all are familiar with Malala Yousafzai, and the first one is her UN speech, which was in July 12th, 2003. And in that particular speech, she addressed United Nations campaign. She is trying to ensure free and compulsory education for every child in the third world countries. So Malala Yousafzai stands for free and compulsory education for every child in the third world countries. And the next lesson is Caring for Animals, written by John Silken. Caring for Animals, written by John Silken. So from the name itself, you can guess the theme. Human beings and non-human beings they have got an inseparable bond in our life. Human beings and non-human beings, and so that's the theme of Caring for Animals by John Silken. And next lesson is Anne Taylor's short story, Average Waves, Unprotected Waters. Average Waves and Unprotected Waters. She is an American novelist, and the theme is it's about the rights of mentally retarded people and the pangs of the people around them. We know the sufferings of mentally retarded people, and like that the sufferings of the people who are looking after them, the people around them. That forms the theme of Average Waves and Unprotected Waters. And finally, the last lesson in our last module, that is the fourth module, is Emmanuel Laborit's autobiographical writing, The Cry of the Girl. Emmanuel Laborit's the autobiographical writing, The Cry of the Girl. And this comes under the disability literature. It is about disability literature, and she is trying to open up many issues like the struggle of disabled to survive, parental attitude, need of the right training, and varying social attitudes towards them. So these all are the themes of The Cry of the Girl, and this comes under disability literature. So that's a brief outline about the textbook Spectrum, and the main intention of this particular textbook, Spectrum, Literary and Contemporary Issues, and we can say that it's an attempt to broaden our understanding to the present world. We should know what is happening around us. We should know the social situation happening around us, and the hazards of globalization, hazards of xenophobia. Xenophobia is the fear to a particular class, fear to unknown people. Xenophobia, racism, cruelty towards the marginalized and downtrodden people, and we should be aware of this all. And the main intention of this textbook is to make you aware of the politics of the social situation that is happening around us. So I hope you will enjoy this particular textbook. That's all for today. Thank you.